The jewelry store clerk smiled at me like I was about to make her month. $3,000 for a necklace that would probably end up in Lily's Instagram stories with some caption about my amazing boyfriend, right before she complained about how boring our relationship had become. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. I'm Martin Sloan, 32 years old, software engineer at a mid-tier tech company in Portland, Maine. Not the glamorous Portland everyone thinks of, but the one where lobster rolls cost $20 and influencers pretend the lighthouse backgrounds make them interesting. My wife Lily had been doing exactly that for the past 2 years, building her lifestyle brand one sponsored post at a time. This piece would be perfect for someone special, the clerk said, her voice dripping with commission-hungry enthusiasm. Someone special. That's what I thought Lily was when I married her 3 years ago. Back then, she was just a marketing coordinator who took nice photos. Now she was Lily Lifestyle, with 48,000 followers and an ego that could fill Yankee Stadium. I stared at the necklace through the glass case, delicate silver chain, small diamond pendant, the kind of thing that screams, "I'm sorry for being such a boring husband," without actually saying it. The kind of thing a man buys when his wife posts about having another dull night while he's working late to pay for her ring light setup. "I'll take it," I said, pulling out my credit card. But as I handed it over, my phone buzzed. A text from Dave, my coworker and probably my only real friend left. "Dude, you seeing Lily's stories right now?" I opened Instagram, and there it was, a video of Lily at some trendy bar downtown, laughing with a group I didn't recognize. The caption read, "Sometimes you need a girl's night when your boyfriend is being predictable." Predictable. That stung worse than dull. I watched the video again. Lily wore the red dress I'd bought her for our anniversary. She was sitting close to some guy with perfectly styled hair and a camera around his neck. Too close. Her hand was on his arm, and she was looking at him the way she used to look at me. "Sir?" The clerk was waiting, card reader ready. I looked at the necklace again. $3,000 for someone who thought I was predictable. $3,000 for someone who was currently flirting with some photographer while posting about what a disappointment I was. "Actually, I've changed my mind," I said, pocketing my card. The clerk's face fell like she'd just watched her commission walk out the door, which, technically, she had. I walked out of the jewelry store and straight to the travel agency next door. If Lily wanted excitement, she could have it, just not with me bankrolling it. "I need a room at the Cliffside Resort," I told the agent. "Your best suite, this weekend." The Cliffside was where Lily had been begging me to take her for months. Too expensive, I'd always said. We need to save money, I'd always said. Maybe after her next big sponsorship deal, I'd always said. Well, I was going, just not with her. I booked the Ocean View suite for the weekend, the one with the private balcony and room service, the one that cost more than most people's rent. The one Lily had bookmarked on her laptop and shown me at least a dozen times. By the time I got home, Lily was already there, touching up her makeup in our bedroom mirror. She was getting ready to go out again. "Hey, babe," she said, without looking at me. "How was your day?" "Productive," I said. "Very productive." She finally turned around, and I saw she was wearing different jewelry. A necklace I'd never seen before. Silver chain, small pendant. It looked expensive. "That's new," I said. She touched it self-consciously. "Oh, this? It's from a brand collaboration. They sent it for me to feature." "Nice of them." "Yeah. Well, that's how this business works. You build relationships, you get opportunities." She went back to her reflection. "I'm meeting the girls again tonight. Tasha's having some drama with her boyfriend." Tasha. I'd met her exactly twice in 3 years. Some drama with her boyfriend. Right. "Have fun," I said. After she left, I sat in our living room and opened Instagram again. Lily had already posted 3 new stories from whatever bar she was at. In one of them, the same photographer from earlier was taking pictures of her and her girls. His name was tagged Max Landon. I clicked on his profile. Professional photographer, lifestyle and fashion focus, 42,000 followers. His recent posts were all collaborations with female influencers, and he had a way of making them all look like they were posing for the cover of a romance novel. I scrolled through his photos, and my stomach dropped. There was Lily, from 2 weeks ago, a behind-the-scenes shot of one of her sponsored posts. She was laughing, looking directly at the camera with an expression I recognized. It was the same look she'd given me on our first date. The caption read, "Working with authentic creators who bring real passion to their content, and Lily Lifestyle brings the energy." Real passion. Energy. 2 things I apparently wasn't providing anymore. I kept scrolling. More photos of Lily going back months. Photos I'd never seen on her own account. Photos where she looked happier than she had at home in weeks. My phone rang. Dave. "Martin, man, you need to see this." "See what?" "Check the Portland influencer spotting account. Someone just posted a photo from Meridian Bar." I found the account and scrolled to the latest post. It was a photo of Lily and Max sitting in a corner booth. Her hand was in his, and they were looking at each other like they were the only 2 people in the room. The caption read, "Local lifestyle blogger getting cozy with photographer Max Landon. New collab or something more?" The comments were already rolling in. "Isn't she married?" "Her husband seems sweet, though. Maybe it's just business." "That's not a business look, lol." I stared at the photo for a long time. 3 years of marriage. 3 years of supporting her dreams, paying for her equipment, listening to her complain about algorithm changes and brand partnership negotiations. 3 years of being the boring, predictable husband who worked late so she could play influencer. And this was what I got in return. I opened my laptop and started typing an email to my boss. I was taking a long weekend. Personal emergency. Then I started packing. The Cliffside Resort was everything Lily had said it would be. Ocean views, luxury amenities, the kind of place where people came to propose or celebrate anniversaries. The kind of place where a boring, predictable husband might take his influencer wife to prove he could still surprise her. Instead, I was here alone, sitting on the private balcony with a glass of wine that cost more than our usual dinner budget, watching the sunset and scrolling through my wife's Instagram stories. She'd posted 6 stories since I left, all from different locations around Portland. Bar hopping with the girls, she called it. But Max Landon appeared in the background of 3 of them, and by the 4th story, he wasn't in the background anymore. "My amazing photographer friend Max is documenting our girls' night," she said in a video, turning the camera to show Max behind his professional camera. "He's so talented at capturing authentic moments." Authentic moments. With her married to someone else. I was about to close Instagram when a notification popped up. Someone had tagged me in a post. It was Becca, one of Lily's friends. The post was a group photo from whatever bar they were at now. Lily was in the center, Max's arm around her waist. The caption read, "When your girl, a Lily Lifestyle, finds her perfect creative partner, some people just have chemistry. Sorry, Martin's loan, she's working tonight." Sorry, Martin, she's working tonight. The comments were brutal. "Yikes, tagging the husband is rough. This is awkward. Martin deserves better than this. Is this really work?" My phone started buzzing with text messages. Friends, co-workers, even my mother had seen the post. Everyone asking if I was okay, if I knew what was happening, if I needed to talk. I turned off my phone and ordered room service. Lobster, steak, the works. Everything Lily would have insisted on posting about if she were here. Everything she would have made me photograph from 12 different angles before letting me eat. But she wasn't here. She was across town, letting another man put his hands on her while calling it work. I ate my expensive dinner in peace, watching the ocean and thinking about the last 3 years. When had it started going wrong? When had I become the boring husband instead of the supportive partner? When had she started looking at me like I was an obligation instead of a choice? Maybe it was when she hit 30,000 followers and started getting invited to events I wasn't cool enough to attend. Maybe it was when she started spending more time talking to her phone than talking to me. Maybe it was when she started posting about our relationship like it was content to be managed rather than a life to be lived. Or maybe it was when I stopped fighting for her attention and started just accepting that I'd lost it. I turned my phone back on around midnight. 17 missed calls from Lily, 43 text messages, and a notification that she'd posted a new story. The story was a video of her crying in what looked like a bathroom. Mascara running, voice shaking. "I made a mistake tonight," she said to the camera. "I got caught up in the moment, and I hurt someone I love. Martin, if you're watching this, please call me. Please come home. I can explain everything." The text messages told a different story. "Where are you? Your coworker Dave saw the post. Everyone's asking me questions. This is humiliating. Call me back now. I can't believe you're doing this to me. You're making me look like a cheater. It wasn't what it looked like. Max is just a friend. You're ruining my reputation. My followers are asking where you are. This is affecting my brand." I read through all 43 messages. Only 3 of them contained anything resembling an apology. The rest were about her reputation, her brand, her followers. Even her panic was about how this looked to other people, not about how it felt to me. I typed back a single message. "Enjoying the cliffside. You should try the lobster sometime." Then I turned off my phone and went to sleep in a king-sized bed that I didn't have to share with someone who thought I was predictable. I woke up to pounding on my hotel room door. Martin, I know you're in there." Lily. She'd driven an hour to the resort to find me. It was 7 in the morning. I opened the door. She looked like she hadn't slept. Her makeup was smeared, her hair was a mess, and she was wearing the same red dress from last night. "We need to talk," she said, pushing past me into the room. "Do we?" She looked around the suite, taking in the ocean view, the luxury furnishings, the room service cart from last night's dinner. "You brought me here," she said, "to the place I've been begging you to take me for months, and you came alone. Seemed like you were busy." "It wasn't what it looked like, Martin. Max is a professional contact. We were discussing a potential collaboration. Is that what we're calling it?" She sat down on the bed, and for a moment, she looked like the woman I'd married. Vulnerable, real, human. "I know how it looked," she said. "But you have to understand, this is my career. I have to maintain relationships with photographers, with other influencers. Sometimes that means going to events, being social, networking." "Networking," I repeated. "Yes. And I know it's hard for you to understand because you have a regular job. But my work is different. It's about relationships and image and holding hands with photographers while your husband buys you jewelry." She looked confused. "What jewelry?" "I was at Morrison's yesterday, about to buy you a $3,000 necklace. Then I saw your stories." Her face went pale. "Martin, the necklace you're wearing. The one from your brand collaboration. How much did that cost, Lily?" She touched the silver chain at her throat. "I told you it was sent by Max?" She didn't answer, which was answer enough. I walked to the window and looked out at the ocean. The sun was coming up, painting the water gold and pink. It was beautiful. The kind of view Lily would have posted about a dozen times if she were here for the right reasons. "I want a divorce," I said. The words came out easier than I'd expected, like they'd been waiting in my throat for months. "Martin, no, we can work this out. It was just a moment of weakness. Nothing happened." I turned around. "Nothing happened? Lily, you've been posting about how boring and predictable I am for weeks. You've been going out with this guy for months, letting him buy you jewelry, letting him touch you, letting him photograph you like you're his girlfriend instead of my wife, and then you tagged me in a post to make sure I saw it. I didn't tag you. Becca did. Same difference. You all thought it was funny. Poor, boring Martin, sitting at home while his wife plays dress-up with her photographer boyfriend. She was crying now, but it looked performative, like she was trying out different expressions to see which one would work on me. I love you, she said. I made a mistake, but I love you. No, I said. You love what I represent. The stable husband, the steady income, the guy who pays for your equipment and your outfits and your lifestyle while you build your brand. You love having someone to come home to when the influencer world gets too exhausting. But you don't love me. That's not true. When's the last time you asked me about my work? She opened her mouth, then closed it. When's the last time you posted a photo of us together that wasn't sponsored content? Silence. When's the last time you looked at me the way you looked at Max in that photo? She stood up, and I saw her switch tactics. The tears stopped, and her voice got harder. Fine, she said. You want to know the truth? You are boring, Martin. You work the same job, watch the same shows, eat the same food. You never want to go anywhere or try anything new. You complain about my career, you don't support my dreams, and you make me feel guilty for wanting more out of life. More like Max? Max understands my work. He supports my goals. He makes me feel interesting and attractive and alive. When I'm with him, I remember who I used to be before I became just your wife. There it was. The truth, finally. Then go be with him, I said. But don't expect me to pay for it anymore. Her eyes widened. What do you mean? I mean the credit cards, the joint account, the car payment, the rent on your studio space, all of it. You want to be interesting and attractive and alive? Do it on your own dime. You can't do that. We're married. That's not how marriage works. No, Lily, that's not how partnerships work. Marriage is supposed to be about respect and loyalty and actually liking the person you're with. What we have is a business arrangement where I fund your lifestyle and you give me just enough attention to keep me paying. I grabbed my suitcase and started packing the clothes I'd brought. Where are you going? Home. To pack the rest of my things. Martin, wait. We can go to counseling. We can work this out. I looked at her one last time. Even now, even caught red-handed with another man, she was thinking about how to manage this situation. How to keep her comfortable life while still getting her excitement elsewhere. No, I said. We can't. I left her in the hotel room that she'd wanted to visit for months. Let her enjoy the ocean view. Let her post about it. Let her explain to her followers why she was there alone while her husband filed for divorce. As I drove home, my phone buzzed with notifications. Instagram, text messages, missed calls. But I didn't look. For the first time in months, I didn't care what Lily was posting or who was liking it or what her followers thought about anything. I was done being predictable. It was time to be surprising. I spent Sunday moving my things out of our apartment while Lily was still at the resort, probably trying to figure out how to spin this situation for her followers. I took only what was mine. Clothes, computer, books, the coffee maker I'd bought before we met. I left everything I'd bought for her, every piece of equipment and furniture and decoration that had been purchased in service of her brand. By Monday morning, I was settled in a furnished studio apartment across town, and Lily was blowing up my phone. You can't just leave, she said in a voicemail. We need to talk about this like adults. You're being dramatic. Dramatic. The woman who filmed herself crying in a bathroom for Instagram was calling me dramatic. I was at work, trying to focus on code reviews, when Dave walked over to my desk. Dude, you okay? The whole internet is talking about your wife. I looked up. What do you mean? He showed me his phone. Lily had posted a long Instagram story, a series of videos explaining her side of the situation. She was back in our apartment, sitting on the couch we'd bought together, looking directly into the camera with her most sincere expression. I want to address some rumors that have been circulating, she said. My husband Martin and I are going through a difficult time right now, and unfortunately, some private moments have been taken out of context and shared publicly. She paused, letting a single tear roll down her cheek. Marriage is hard work, and social media can make it even harder. When you're building a brand and working with creative professionals, boundaries can sometimes get blurred. I take full responsibility for any confusion my recent posts may have caused. Full responsibility. Without actually admitting to anything. Martin is a wonderful man, but he's struggled with my career from the beginning. He's never understood the demands of content creation or the relationships I need to maintain to be successful. This has created tension in our marriage that we're working to resolve. I watched in amazement as she flipped the narrative. Suddenly, I was the unsupportive husband who couldn't handle his wife's success. She was the victim of misunderstanding and a difficult marriage. I'm asking for privacy during this time as we work through our issues, and I want to thank Max Landon for being such a professional and supportive creative partner during this challenging period. The comments were pouring in. Stay strong, girl. Your husband should be supporting your dreams. Some men can't handle successful women. Max seems like a good friend to have. But there were other comments too. This seems like damage control. What about the photo of you holding hands? Your husband deserves better than this. Taking responsibility without actually apologizing is classic manipulation, Dave was reading over my shoulder. Damn, Martin, she's really trying to make you the bad guy here. I closed Instagram and went back to my code, but I couldn't concentrate. All day, co-workers kept walking by my desk, some offering support, others just curious about the drama. By lunch, Lily Lifestyle was trending locally, and I was getting friend requests from strangers who wanted front-row seats to my marriage imploding. That evening, I got a text from Tasha, one of Lily's friends I'd actually liked. Martin, I'm sorry about everything. What Lily did was wrong, and the way she's handling it now is worse. If you need someone to talk to, I'm here. I was surprised. I'd assumed all of Lily's friends would close ranks around her. I called Tasha. I can't believe she posted that story, Tasha said, making you look like the controlling husband when she's the one who's been sneaking around for months. Months? Oh, Martin, you didn't know? She and Max have been collaborating since February. Every time she said she was having girls' night or working late on content, she was with him. February. That was 6 months ago. 6 months of lies. Why didn't you tell me? I tried to talk to her about it. We all did. But she said you two were having problems, that you didn't understand her work, that she was just building professional relationships. She made it sound like you were practically separated already. We weren't separated. We were living together, sharing a bed, making plans for the future. I know. That's why this is so messed up. And now, she's trying to make it your fault. After I hung up with Tasha, I sat in my small studio apartment and thought about the last 6 months. All the late nights Lily had claimed to be working. All the girls' nights that apparently weren't with girls. All the times she'd come home smelling like cologne that wasn't mine and claimed it was from hugging friends at networking events. I'd been living with a stranger who was playing the role of my wife while building a relationship with someone else. My phone buzzed. A text from Lily. We need to talk. This doesn't have to get ugly. But it was already ugly. She'd made sure of that when she decided to handle our marriage crisis like a PR campaign. I texted back, talk to my lawyer. Tuesday morning, I met with Jennifer Walsh, a divorce attorney Dave had recommended. She was in her 50s, sharp-eyed, and had no patience for social media drama. Your wife is quite the performer, she said, showing me printouts of Lily's Instagram posts. But performance doesn't hold up in court. What do you mean? I mean she's created a digital trail of evidence that supports your case. The photos with this Max person, the posts about your marriage being boring, the way she's trying to control the narrative now. It all points to someone who was planning an exit strategy while keeping you as financial support. So what do? We document everything, every post, every story, every comment. We look at your financial records and see exactly how much of your income has been supporting her lifestyle, and we prepare for her to get nasty. Nastier than she's already been? Jennifer smiled grimly. Mr. Sloan, when people's comfortable lives are threatened, they show you who they really are. Your wife has been living off your income while building relationships with other men. She's not going to give that up without a fight. She was right. By Wednesday, Lily had hired her own lawyer and was demanding spousal support, half of my 401k, and continued access to our joint credit cards until the matter is resolved. She'd also ramped up her social media campaign, daily posts about the challenges of marriage, the importance of following your dreams, and the difficulty of dealing with unsupportive partners. She never mentioned my name, but her followers knew exactly who she was talking about. Going through a difficult time, but grateful for the people who truly understand and support me, she posted, along with a photo of her and Max at some coffee shop, both looking artistic and misunderstood. The comments were split between supporters and people who were starting to see through her act. Girl, you're married. This isn't a good look. Your husband worked hard to support your dreams, and this is how you repay him. Max is cute, though. This is messy, and you're making it messier. But the post that really got to me was the one she made Thursday night. A photo of our empty apartment, with her sitting alone on the couch, looking sad and abandoned. Sometimes the people we love most are the ones who hurt us deepest. When you're trying to grow and evolve, not everyone can grow with you. It's heartbreaking, but sometimes you have to choose between staying small to make others comfortable or becoming who you're meant to be. Tonight, I'm choosing growth, even though it's painful. Authentic living. Growth mindset. Strong women. The comments were overwhelmingly supportive. You're so brave. Growth is painful but necessary. Some people are meant to be in your life for a season, not forever. You deserve someone who celebrates your success. She was rewriting our entire relationship, making herself the victim of my inability to handle her success, rather than the woman who cheated on her husband while he paid her bills. I was about to close Instagram when I noticed something. Max had liked the post within minutes of it going up. At 11 p.m. on a Thursday night, he was monitoring her social media and immediately engaging with her content. I clicked on his profile and scrolled through his recent posts. Professional shots, behind-the-scenes content, collaborations with various influencers. But starting in February, there were more and more photos featuring Lily. And in the comments, they had conversations that read like inside jokes between people who spent a lot of time together. Great light in this shot, Lily would comment. You make every shot look effortless, Max would reply. Can't wait to see what we create next. The best collaborations come naturally. It was all there, hiding in plain sight. A relationship developing in public, with her husband apparently too boring and predictable to notice. But I was noticing now, and I was done being the supportive, understanding husband who quietly accepted being treated like a business expense. It was time for Lily to learn what unpredictable really looked like. Friday morning, I did something I'd never done before. I created my own Instagram account, not for my personal life, not for posting food photos or vacation pictures, for the truth. My first post was simple, a photo of the receipt from Morrison's jewelry, dated the day I'd discovered Lily's betrayal. The caption read, "This is what I was buying when I found out my wife was holding hands with another man at a bar across town. Sometimes the most expensive thing you can buy is clarity." I tagged Lily and Max. Then I turned off my phone and went to work. By lunch, my phone was exploding. The post had been shared to the Portland influencer spotting account, picked up by local drama blogs, and was spreading through Lily's follower network like wildfire. Dave found me in the break room. "Dude, you broke the internet." "What do you mean?" He showed me his phone. My post had 3,000 likes and 800 comments. but more importantly, it had inspired other people to start talking. I knew something was off about her story. One comment read, "No supportive husband just abandons his wife without reason. The timeline doesn't add up. She's been posting about relationship problems for months, but acting like this just happened." That receipt is dated the same day as the bar photo. He was literally buying her jewelry while she was cheating. This is why I don't trust influencers. Everything is performance. But the most interesting comments were from people who knew Lily personally. I work at the restaurant where they had their business meetings all spring. Definitely not business. My friend lives in Max's building. Lily's car has been in his parking garage for months. She's been telling people they were separated since March. Guess her husband didn't know. I had accidentally created a space for people to share what they'd observed, and the picture that emerged was damning. Lily hadn't just cheated. She'd been living a double life, telling different stories to different people while keeping me in the dark. My phone rang. Jennifer, my lawyer. "Martin, what did you do?" I told the truth. "Well, your truth just got a lot more expensive. Lily's lawyer is claiming you're engaging in a harassment campaign designed to damage her reputation and income." "Her reputation damaged itself. I just posted a receipt." "I know, and legally you're fine. But this is going to make negotiations more difficult. She's going to fight harder now." "Good. Let her fight. I'm tired of being the only one trying to be reasonable." That afternoon, Lily posted her response. A video of her crying in her car, looking directly into the camera with mascara running down her cheeks. "I never wanted this to become public," she said. "I've tried to handle our private matters with dignity, but my husband has decided to humiliate me online." The receipt he posted is from a day when we were both hurting, when our communication had broken down completely. I was out with friends, trying to process the pain of a failing marriage. And yes, I found comfort in the company of people who understood what I was going through. She paused to wipe her eyes. Max has been nothing but professional and supportive during the most difficult period of my life. The fact that my husband is trying to destroy my reputation and my career because our marriage didn't work out shows exactly why our relationship couldn't survive. The comments were mixed, but I noticed something interesting. The people defending her were mostly anonymous accounts or distant followers. The people who knew her personally were staying quiet or actively questioning her story. Tasha commented, "Lily, you know this isn't the whole truth." Becca, who had originally tagged me in the damaging photo, wrote, "Maybe it's time to just be honest about what happened." Even some of her influencer friends were distancing themselves. Being associated with messy personal drama wasn't good for their brands. But Lily wasn't done. Over the weekend, she launched what I can only describe as a full media campaign. She gave an interview to a local lifestyle blogger, talking about the challenges of being a female entrepreneur married to someone who couldn't support her ambitions. She posted daily content about healing from toxic relationships and finding your authentic self. And she kept featuring Max in her content, now more openly than before. "Grateful for the people who see your potential and support your growth," she posted with a photo of Max taking her picture at some scenic location. Sometimes the universe puts exactly the right people in your path at exactly the right time. The comments on that post were brutal. "Girl, you're still married. This is embarrassing. Your husband dodged a bullet. How is this different from cheating? At least be honest about what you're doing." But Lily kept pushing the narrative that she was the victim of an unsupportive marriage, now finding happiness with people who truly understood her. That's when I decided to stop playing defense and start playing offense. My second Instagram post was a screenshot of our joint credit card statement from the past 6 months. I'd highlighted every charge related to Lily's business meetings with Max. Expensive restaurants, hotel bars, shopping trips, even a weekend getaway to Boston that she'd told me was a content creator retreat. The caption read, "Supporting your spouse's dreams is important. Supporting your spouse's affair is something else entirely. Every charge highlighted here was a business meeting with the photographer she's now openly dating. I paid for my own betrayal, one dinner at a time. This post got even more attention than the first. Local news picked it up, and suddenly I was getting interview requests from bloggers and podcasters who covered influencer drama. Lily's response was swift and furious. She posted a series of stories calling my behavior financial abuse and claiming I was trying to control her by monitoring her spending. "This is exactly the kind of controlling behavior that destroyed our marriage," she said in a video posted from what looked like Max's apartment. "He tracked my every purchase, questioned every business expense, and tried to isolate me from professional relationships that were helping me grow my career." But her followers weren't buying it anymore. The comments on her posts were increasingly skeptical. "If these were business expenses, why didn't you pay for them yourself? You literally called them dates in some of your old posts. This looks really bad, Lily. Maybe just admit what happened and move on. Your husband seems like he was trying to be supportive and you took advantage." More importantly, her follower count was starting to drop. Brands were quietly distancing themselves from the drama. Her comment engagement was down, and the comments she was getting were increasingly negative. Meanwhile, my follower count was growing. People were following my account to get updates on the situation, and they were sharing my posts with captions like, "This is why I have trust issues," and "Men, watch out for this behavior." I was accidentally becoming an influencer myself, but instead of lifestyle content, I was posting receipts. Literally. Tuesday morning, Jennifer called with an update. "Lily's lawyer wants to settle," she said. "The social media attention is making their client look bad, and it's affecting her income. They're willing to waive spousal support in exchange for you stopping the Instagram posts." "What about the 401k? "They still want half, but they're negotiating." I thought about it. I could stop posting, take the settlement, and move on with my life. Put this whole mess behind me and start over. But then I remembered the way Lily had looked at me when she called me predictable. The way she'd tried to make me the villain in her story. The way she'd spent months lying to my face while I paid for her betrayal. "No deal," I said. "I'm not done being unpredictable." That evening, I made my most devastating post yet. A side-by-side comparison of Lily's posts about our relationship over the past year. On the left, posts about how much she loved her supportive husband and how blessed she was to have someone who believed in her dreams. On the right, posts from the past month about how unsupportive and controlling I'd been throughout our marriage. The caption read, "A year ago, I was the supportive husband who believed in her dreams. Last month, I became the controlling husband who never supported her career. The only thing that changed was getting caught. Screenshots don't lie, but people do." The post went viral, not just locally, but nationally. It was shared to Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit. People were using it as an example of gaslighting, of how cheaters rewrite history to justify their behavior. Lily's response was to go private on Instagram and delete most of her recent posts. But the internet doesn't forget, and people had already screenshotted everything. Her influencer career, built on authenticity and relatability, was over. You can't build a brand on being trustworthy when everyone knows you're a liar. But I wasn't done yet. Because Lily had made one crucial mistake in all of this. She'd assumed I was too boring and predictable to fight back effectively. She was about to learn just how wrong she was. The settlement meeting was scheduled for Thursday morning at Jennifer's office. Lily showed up with her lawyer, a sharp-dressed woman who looked like she'd rather be anywhere else. Max came too, which surprised everyone. "Why is he here?" Jennifer asked. "Mr. Landon is here for moral support," Lily's lawyer said. "My client has been under tremendous stress due to her husband's social media campaign." I looked at Lily across the conference table. She was wearing a conservative dress and minimal makeup, trying to look like the victim of my unreasonable behavior. Max sat next to her, his hand protectively on her shoulder. "Let's get to business," Jennifer said. My client is prepared to agree to a no-fault divorce with the following terms: no spousal support, equal division of marital debts, and each party keeps their individual assets. That's not acceptable, Lily's lawyer said. My client gave up career opportunities to support her husband's advancement. She's entitled to compensation for that sacrifice. I almost laughed. What career opportunities did she give up? She didn't have a career when we met. I supported her while she built her influencer brand from nothing. The brand she built is worth significant money, the lawyer continued. Money that was earned during the marriage using marital resources. Marital resources that I provided, I said. Every camera, every light, every outfit, every location fee. I funded the whole thing while she was building relationships with other men. Lily finally spoke up. Martin, you're being vindictive. This doesn't have to be ugly. It became ugly when you decided to cheat on me for 6 months while posting about what a supportive husband I was. I never cheated on you. The room went quiet. Even her lawyer looked uncomfortable. Lily, I said, there are photos of you holding hands with Max. You've been staying at his apartment. You're literally sitting next to him right now like he's your boyfriend. Our relationship didn't become romantic until after you abandoned our marriage. I abandoned our marriage? When? When you left me at the hotel and moved out without discussing it. I stared at her. She was actually trying to claim that our marriage ended when I discovered her betrayal, not when she started the betrayal. So the 6 months of secret meetings, the jewelry he bought you, the weekend trips you took together, all of that happened while we were happily married? Those were business relationships that developed into friendship. Max was supporting me through a difficult time in our marriage. What difficult time? I didn't know we were having a difficult time until I saw you holding hands with him. Max finally spoke up. Martin, man, you have to understand. Lily was really unhappy. She felt trapped, unsupported. She needed someone who understood her creative vision. I looked at him. Mid-30s, perfectly styled hair, expensive clothes that I'd probably paid for indirectly through Lily's business expenses. And you understood her creative vision? I understood her potential. She's incredibly talented, but she was being held back by someone who couldn't appreciate what she was trying to build. By someone who was paying for what she was trying to build. It's not always about money, Martin. Sometimes people need emotional support, creative collaboration, someone who believes in their dreams. I did believe in her dreams. I worked overtime to pay for her equipment. I spent weekends helping her with content. I supported her career even when it meant I never saw her anymore. But you didn't understand the business, Lily said. You were always questioning my expenses, my networking, my professional relationships. You made me feel guilty for doing what I needed to do to succeed. I made you feel guilty for spending our money on dates with other men. They weren't dates. They were business meetings. I pulled out my phone and opened Instagram. Lily, you posted a photo from your Boston trip with the caption, "Perfect weekend getaway with someone who gets me." Was that a business meeting? She looked uncomfortable. That was taken out of context. What about the photo where you're wearing the necklace Max bought you, with the caption, "When someone sees your worth"? Business meeting? You're twisting everything. I'm reading your own words. Jennifer interrupted. Mr. Sloan, I think we've established the timeline sufficiently. Let's focus on the settlement terms. But I wasn't done. Because sitting across from Lily and Max, watching them try to rewrite history in real time, I realized something. They actually believed their own story. They'd convinced themselves that their relationship was some kind of romantic destiny, that I was the obstacle standing in the way of true love, that their betrayal was justified by their feelings. I have a counteroffer, I said. Martin, Jennifer warned. No, hear me out. Lily wants spousal support because she claims she gave up career opportunities for our marriage. But her current career, her entire influencer brand, was built during our marriage with my financial support. So if she wants to claim that brand as a marital asset, then I want half of all future earnings from it. Lily's lawyer looked alarmed. That's not how intellectual property works in divorce proceedings. Isn't it? She's claiming she deserves ongoing support because her career was impacted by our marriage. But her career was created by our marriage. Every follower she gained, every brand partnership she signed, every piece of content she made was possible because I was paying her living expenses. If she wants to monetize our marriage, then I want my share. That's ridiculous, Lily said. You can't own part of my social media accounts. Why not? You want to own part of my 401k and you didn't contribute to that either. Max leaned forward. This is exactly the kind of controlling behavior Lily was talking about. You can't own someone's creative work. I'm not trying to own her creative work. I'm trying to get fair compensation for funding it. Every photo Max took of Lily, I paid for. Every outfit she wore, every location they used, every meal they shared while brainstorming content ideas. I was the silent partner in this creative collaboration. The room was quiet for a moment. Then Lily's lawyer spoke up. My client is prepared to waive her claim to spousal support in exchange for a clean break. No ongoing financial entanglements, no claims on future earnings from either party. And the 401k? She'll take 25% instead of 50%. I looked at Jennifer, who nodded slightly. It was a better deal than we'd expected. Deal, I said, but I have one more condition. What? Lily posts a public apology. Not for the divorce, not for moving on, but for lying about the timeline and trying to make me the villain in her story. Absolutely not, Lily said immediately. Then no deal. I'll see you in court, and I'll bring printouts of every post, every photo, every receipt, and every witness who saw you two together while you were telling me you were working late. Lily and her lawyer whispered urgently for several minutes. Finally, Lily looked up. What kind of apology? The truth. That our marriage ended because you developed feelings for someone else, not because I was unsupportive. That you lied about the nature of your relationship with Max. That I did support your career, even if I couldn't support your infidelity. I can't post that. It would destroy what's left of my reputation. Your reputation destroyed itself. I'm just asking you to stop trying to destroy mine in the process. More whispering. More uncomfortable silence. Finally, Lily nodded. Fine, but it has to be mutual. You stop posting about our relationship too. Deal. We signed the papers that afternoon. By evening, Lily had posted her apology. It was brief, carefully worded, and posted to her remaining followers with comments turned off. I want to address some misconceptions about my recent divorce. While my marriage to Martin ended, it wasn't because he was unsupportive of my career. Martin worked hard to help me build my brand, and I'm grateful for that support. Our relationship ended because I developed feelings for someone else, and I should have been honest about that from the beginning. I apologize for any confusion my previous posts may have caused. I wish Martin well and ask for privacy as we both move forward. It wasn't everything I'd wanted, but it was enough. The truth was finally on the record. I made one final Instagram post, a photo of the signed divorce papers with the caption, "Sometimes the best revenge is just letting people see who they really are." Thanks for following along. Time to start the next chapter. Then I deleted the account. 6 months later, I heard through mutual friends that Lily and Max had broken up. Apparently, when the excitement of sneaking around was gone and they had to build a real relationship, they discovered they didn't actually have much in common. Lily had tried to restart her influencer career, but the trust was gone. Brands didn't want to work with someone associated with drama and dishonesty. She was working at a marketing firm now, a regular job with regular hours and a regular paycheck. The life she'd been so desperate to escape when she was married to me. Max had moved on to collaborating with other female influencers, apparently following the same pattern that had worked with Lily. As for me, I was doing fine. Better than fine, actually. I'd gotten a promotion at work, bought a house, and started dating someone who thought I was interesting rather than predictable. Someone who didn't need me to fund her dreams because she was busy building her own. Sometimes people ask me if I regret the way I handled the divorce, if I think I was too harsh or too public with my response. But I don't regret it. For 3 years, I'd been the understanding husband, the supportive partner, the guy who quietly accepted being taken for granted. I'd been predictable. When it mattered most, when my life was falling apart and someone I loved was trying to rewrite our entire relationship to make herself the victim, I chose to be unpredictable instead. I chose to fight back. I chose to tell the truth. I chose to stop being the man who quietly accepted whatever treatment he received and became the man who demanded better. Lily was right about one thing. I had been boring and predictable. But she was wrong about thinking that meant I was weak. The most dangerous person in any situation isn't the one who threatens loudly. It's the quiet one who's been pushed too far and finally decides to push back. I was done being predictable, and that made all the difference.